Hi, this is Morgan Freeman. Has anyone ever said, you're the picture of health? You look healthy and you feel fine. But that may not be the full picture. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can be prevented. Get screened. Make sure you are the picture of health.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
AM 1470 with more of what you need to know. Don't miss Travelers 411 with Stephanie Abrams each Sunday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN.
New WNN app to your phone from your app store and never miss a Talk 1470 AM 95.3 FM minute. Talk 1470 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Natural disasters can be unexpected and devastating to your home or property. If your home or property is damaged and needs repairs, it's important to use only Florida licensed contractors. Remember to check their references, get everything in writing, and don't pay up front. To verify your contractors are licensed, contact the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation online at myfloridalicense.com. That's myfloridalicense.com.
Talk health, talk wealth, talk politics, talk 1470 and 95.3 FM WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Are you ready? It is your time to take a few moments from your busy day to unwind, be inspired, and listen to the psychic insights of your host, empowerment psychic, Halley, Elise, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Off air, be sure to connect with Halley at HalleyElise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Welcome, everyone. I had to giggle for a minute because the advertisement that went on just said that WNN is about talk and wealth and politics. It left out spirituality. There's several of us who are here at the station at different days and different times that talk about spirituality, who do psychic work, who do things that are holistic or are kind of tied into the holistic community. It was just a funny. Bottom line, it's considered talk radio, and yet when we talk, we're not just talking, meaning you have the opportunity to call in. Speaking of which, if you'd like to have your reading this evening, feel free to call 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470, and I'll be happy to give you a reading. Obviously, it's not going to be an hour reading as it is in the office, but you can get a lot of information in a short period of time. You'd be very surprised. With the other thing the station is doing, which I think is amazing, if you didn't catch it, is WNN now has its own app. You don't have to go to WNNradio.com and click on a bunch of things. You can just go to the App Store and download WNN Radio, and ta-da! You can connect with us anytime you like, which is great. Actually, this is really good for my mom. She's always asking, okay, where do I have to go and what do I have to do? Because after a while, it seems a little cumbersome. I thought, well, I'm going to just have her go to iHeart and listen, because as you know, we're on iHeart as well. That wasn't as easy as I thought, because not only do you go to iHeart, but then you do a search, and you search for WNN, and then you connect. But if you don't do something, then it's not where you can just go on automatically. You have to repeat the same process each time. What can I tell you? So it's always an adventure with me in electronics anyways. And I'll tell you, with Mercury in retrograde and other planets in retrograde and an eclipse here and eclipse there, I mean, it's becoming like the old MacDonald song. Every time you turn around, there's an eclipse here, there, and everywhere. It's just been phenomenal of late. And it does affect us. There's this effect on our planet. There's an effect on people. Some realize that things are being stirred up inside, and they're able to take a look at that and make changes for the better. Others feel that stir and have no outlet, and you see them acting poorly, or you see them going into a state of rage. I just want to share that anybody who's noticing someone in their life who in the past has been calm and level-headed, misbehaving, or we'll say behaving out of the ordinary, draw it to their attention, but do so in a very gentle way. Let them know that you're recognizing something and that it's not for their betterment, and you'd like to see them make an adjustment, and that you're there to love and support them. Because oftentimes when we are feeling poorly, when we're seeing the world as if we have no control over it, we don't realize that there are people there to listen to us. And that's truly important. And you've heard me mention Mental Health Month, not this month, last month, and different incidents that have happened. But the truth is, a spiritual being can be off kilter physically. It is not that one specifically takes care of the other. You always hear the mind, body, spirit. You hear yogis say about having it together as a whole. It takes time to get to that place. When we vibrate at a higher level, at a higher frequency, our bodies actually have to adjust to that. It's not automatic. This is why sometimes when people first start to meditate, they feel as if they're rocking and they're going to fall over, or they find themselves dizzy after meditating, or some people even say, oh my gosh, I got a headache all of a sudden. And it's simply because their energy is elevating at a very fast level. You have to remember to breathe. And it may sound like it's a catch-all. Oftentimes it is. When we get still and we get conscious and we take a slow, deep breath, usually we can control whatever's going on in our world. We do it with small children. We tell them, stop, take a breath. It's okay, right? With adults that are upset about something, okay, honey, it's all right. Just breathe. We do it when we're meditating. We do it when we're going through a CAT scan. We do it when we have any number of things going on in our life. The point being, you have control if you know what to do. Too often people don't know. They don't know that there's somebody right there for them, or that all they have to do literally is just stop, take that deep breath in, and breathe out. Just that moment, it gives you that beat, that pause, for you to reevaluate, for you to reconnect. And that's a big part of it. When we are stirred and we're off kilter, whether it's from doing something spiritual or because something emotional has happened in our life or something physical, we need to have a point of reference. We need to have a place where we can say, okay, I feel in control of my world. Think breath. Truly, think breath. When you feel that everything is out of whack, just stop for one moment. Just breathe. And when you breathe, instead of letting your mind go to all the many places that it may go that has to do with worry or finances or a relationship or illness or whatever it is, instead, just breathe. And that means in that moment, think about the fact that you can hear yourself breathing. Think about that you are present in that moment. And whether it's an eclipse or it is a planet gone awry or your best friend just gave you agita, doesn't matter. Take a moment. Take a beat. It will free you from what's going on and give you an opportunity to readjust. When meditating, if you find that you're off kilter, you're feeling dizzy, you're headachy, what have you, breathe. And again, as I said, it's kind of a catch-all, because if you're feeling off, you need to be oxygenated. You need to draw that oxygen in to help your physical being. But more than that, again, it gives you that pause for you to get grounded, for you to take control. It's a quick fix. It's an easy fix. You don't have to buy anything or go anywhere. Most important, it works. I used to teach over at Nova in the evenings many years ago, and I was there for about 5 years. I had a lot of students, on average we'll say 40 to 60, I know that's a big gap, but it just depended on the time of the year. People would come in and go, oh, I can't do this, or, oh, I do it all the time, but it's not a big deal. And then all of a sudden they find that they're in a totally different place. When you're in a group environment and you're all focused on something energetic or focused on something spiritual, you go from a slight elevation to a massive elevation. It's similar to when you go for prayer, for worship. You always find it feels different when you're in a group of people than when you're by yourself. It's because you are raising that frequency, raising that vibration. If at any point, again, you feel off, be aware, be conscious, and breathe. Truly, just stop, slow down, and breathe. You will notice that you're able to take control of what's going on. Okay, I want to say one more thing as far as the breath, and that is when you are working psychically, when you're listening to that inner voice, even then you may find, oh my gosh, I'm feeling something I don't want to feel. Breathe. I saw something I didn't want to see. Breathe. It's a catch-all. And if it's done properly, if you actually allow yourself to be in that moment, it will work. All right, I believe we have Lisa on the line. Lisa, are you there? Hello?
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Did you have a specific area that you wanted to focus on this evening? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Did you have a specific area of focus that you wanted to have information
No.
on? No. Okay.
No, just anything you pick up on me.
Okay, do me a favor. It's funny I'm talking about the breath, but take just a couple of deep breaths. Let me kind of connect with you, and I'll give you what shows up for me. Interesting. One of the things that pops in immediately, and I'm laughing because I've been sitting here for the last few minutes talking about breathing. It's not something you do easily, meaning you do shallow breaths with no problem, but that idea of just like stopping the world and being still and taking that deep breath, it seems to be a little difficult right now, and that tells me that you've got some stressors in your world and not feeling as if the things that you've been doing for the past feels to me, I'd say 1.5 to 2 years, have been as effective as you've wanted them to be. I can tell you that you've been in somewhat of a cycle that actually started, I'll say, 2 years and 2 months before now. And on a good note, by the time the first week of October rolls around, that cycle will be complete, which means things that you've been focusing on, things that you wanted to make happen that haven't yet manifested will. It's just having a little more patience. And I know patience sometimes is very difficult when we want there to be this transformation in our world. I do get, though, like I said, first week of October, the feeling that things open up for you. And I feel like you step into a new cycle that's going to be from first week of October to middle of November, where you kind of have the magic touch. Anything you want to do is going to show up. Any place that you want to go, there's going to be opportunity. Even when it comes to relationships, you're going to find that there is more ease for that month and a half. Take advantage of that, because I feel as if it'll be your stepping stone for not the tail end of this year so much as it is for the next year. And it's 2 cycles over one another here. So let me try to put this into words. Okay, first week of October going into middle of November, and yet second week of October I feel like is all about finances. Focusing on finances, getting, we'll say, more organized. If there's something that you're wanting to sell, the overall sense is that is the time to start looking to sell. And that, as far as money, things associated to money, things associated to, I'll say, investments, sales, trying to put this into words, things that could be liquid, happen second week of October, and they actually run all the way to, I'm going to say, the first week of January. So you've got like 2 cycles overlapping, but they're both really auspicious. They're really good times for you to make things happen. By the same token, when October hits, it's the right time to say enough is enough with some of the old stuff that you've been holding on to. And just, in as much as it may be difficult on an emotional level to let things go, it's the right time to do so. This makes sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other thing, I'm going to go to the physical body for just a moment, and I'm going to preface with the fact that obviously I'm not a doctor. To me, it's more a matter of feeling. Always defer to your judgment and your physician's judgment. But what I'm getting is lower back, buttocks, legs, so we'll say lower extremities. Sensitivity there. Sensitivity for me is either there's a predisposition of something borderline, or something old. To me, this is a combination. I feel like there's something older that's there as well as a predisposition. But I feel like it's attached to stress. And lower body, specifically back and legs, have to do with whether you feel supported or not in your life and whether it's easy enough to move forward. And this usually has to do with either finances or a relationship. I'm leaning more towards relationship right now and needing to have more clarity and needing to be able to stand in your own power better. Again, with this, I'm going to say I get a shift coming. I'd like to say it's as quick as the other, but to me, this is approximately 6 months. What I'd like to suggest is between now and, okay, we are in August, yes? So that's September, October, November, December, January, February. Figure by March. So between now and March, as best as you can, put your energy into you shifting old beliefs. And what I mean by that is if you say, well, I'm never going to have that because, whatever you finish that sentence with, ask yourself if it was a positive statement, what would that sound like? Do your best to start changing some of the mental talk that you have, because it's the right time to do it again between now and spring of next year. I feel like your whole world is going to do this 360 by the time next year rolls around. And in some areas that you've been waiting for change and wanting transformation that have been lagging, they're going to come into play. In other areas where you just wanted new, they're coming into play. So you're going from a cycle of, we'll say, ambiguity into reward, into more joy. But if you want to speed up that process, work on your self-talk, on that mental language. And I think it's fascinating because I feel like you're basically a positive person, and yet you get caught up sometimes just in the old stuff. It's not that you don't look towards the positive, it's just, I'll call it old mental programming. And we all do it, honey. It comes from family, it comes from childhood, it comes from people we work with. I mean, there's just stuff that we hear over and over, and we kind of internalize it even when it doesn't belong to us. I know, though, if you really are diligent for the next 6 months here, you're going to find that you are so happy that you're doing the happy dance.
Great.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye. It's interesting because we don't often think about our ability to transform by shifting our consciousness. And yet, if I go back to what I said earlier about mind, body, spirit, it's all connected. A little something to think about. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the Halley Elise Show. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com. This is Halley Elise, your empowerment psychic. Tuesday evenings at 9 p.m. is your time to take a few moments from your busy day. Unwind and be inspired as you listen to psychic insights, gain peace and wisdom. I am a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Join me each Tuesday here on WNN 95.3 FM and 1470 AM at 9 p.m.
You have been listening to empowerment psychic Halley Elise, a top 100 psychic. She is your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. Your guide to peace and wisdom. For a private appointment off air, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show with empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Welcome back. I'm giggling here. Our commercial said, join me Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. It's actually Monday nights at 7 p.m. Yes, at one point it was on at Tuesdays, or I should say on Tuesdays. Kind of switched around a little bit, and a lot of it, you'll have to forgive me, has to do with schedule. And that's because I do speaking engagements and I'm out of town and I'm at the office and do different programs. And then I'm here in the station. I think, though, Mondays at 7, if all is well, we will remain at this time slot. So if you were listening and going, wait, it's Monday, it's not Tuesday, and it's not 9 o'clock, now you'll understand why. Okay, I believe we have a Bianca on the phone. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Did you have a specific question you wanted to address?
I was just wondering, what do you see for me in terms of, like, I guess, friendships or relationships in, like, the next few months or whatever?
Okay. I'm going to say something that you probably already know, but I'm going to say it anyways as a reminder. You have to like you more. You don't have to answer anything about that, but just think about that for a moment. We tend to attract people into our lives, the best and the best people, when we are really comfortable and happy with ourselves. And I'm just going to say, kind of remember that. And in the next, we're in August, we're close enough to September, October, November. I'm going to say, from what I'm feeling here, by December, Christmas time specifically, I feel like you have a new person in your world who you're going to be spending time with, who's a bit of a challenge. I feel like they can be as tough as you, but that's okay, because it's kind of good to have somebody you can spar with who doesn't take things the wrong way. And as far as friendships-wise, really, you have a couple of folks in your life that there's an expression my grandmother used to use about, oh my gosh, I just drew a blank, but it was something to the eye, oh, I know what it is, fair weather friends. Are you familiar with that expression at all? It basically...
Not exactly.
Okay, it basically means that they're friends when it's comfortable, when it's suitable, when there's something going on, but they're not true friends all the time. And I'm going to just say, take a look, because you don't really need people in your life who are not going to have full integrity all the time. I mean, it's okay to have somebody who you just go hang out with and have drinks with or spend some time with periodically, but I wouldn't per se call them friends. Those would be more acquaintances. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. I'm going to say, too, I get something with education around you, and this to me feels like within, we're again almost September. Yeah, before the end of the month, before the end of September, something's coming up here, and I feel like it's something that it's definitely worthwhile taking a look at, even though you didn't necessarily feel that's the direction you wanted to go. It to me feels as if it would benefit you if you said yes.
Okay, I'll look out for that.
Okay. And the other thing is, I get dogs, and dogs.
I do love dogs.
Yeah, it's don't be surprised if a couple of new ones pop up in your world at the beginning of next year. But I just feel like you have that playful dog connection energy, and they love you as much as you love them.
That's true.
Thanks so much for calling, hon. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Christine, I believe, is on the line.
Hi, Holly. How are you?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. I don't have a specific question, but if there's any messages that you're picking up for me or anything that you want to share.
Okay. I don't do specifically messages from the other side, but I can give you whatever flows through. And this is going to sound like a funny thing to say, and I don't know that I've ever said it to anybody, but I feel like you are supposed to be a mom. And what I mean by that is you have that nurturing energy of looking after people. Some people, they come into this world and they like children or like animals, but they're not really nurturers. You are, big time. You are a mom even when you're not a mom, meaning, okay, try to explain this so this makes sense. There is this abundance of being a caregiver energy that resides within you. And you do not have to act on this in this moment, but what I want to say to you is I feel like as you get older, and actually I'm going to fast track here 20 years, 25 maybe, I feel like you're going to be doing a lot of work with people who need attention, and you are like this bubble of joy that comes into their world, and they look forward to seeing you. So to me, this would be something similar to working with a group of people and coming in for short periods of time, but every time you walk in the door, it's as if their faces light up. There is, again, this caregiver, nurturer type of energy that I have within you. And I get this connecting to children. I get this connecting to the aged. And I just want to say, because I get this so strong, to remind you to make sure you nurture you also. I feel like there are moments where you completely forget about the things that you should be doing for you, and then you have to play catch up. I know people do this that get busy, but for you, it's integral that you make sure your own energy is protected, your own energy is taken care of. And I'm actually going to even suggest that if you're not familiar with how to do an energy shield, either call me after the show or look it up online, but it feels like it's important for you because you give out and are not always aware that folks will take without giving back. It's always got to be reciprocal when we're sharing energy. And again, it just comes up to me that there is this abundance that you share. You have to have it coming back and forth. Hopefully this is making a little bit of sense to you.
A lot of sense. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. And you may laugh, but I just got a picture of a teacup, a real pretty teacup. And what I'm hearing in my head is, for now, not necessarily forever, but at least for now, you should consider doing lots of tea. And I would look at herbal types of teas and green types of teas over black tea. For some reason, I sense something going on within the physical body and feel that the tea would be helpful. And obviously, I'm not a medical person, but it's just energetically what I'm sensing. There's something here that it would help regulate or create more peace with inside of the body.
Any specific kind of tea, like relaxation tea or like lavender tea? Or
I would, from this, okay, let me see what this is. For some reason, I get a picture of little tiny berries in my head. They're not blackberries. They're not blueberries. They're not raspberries. What the heck are they called? Lindenberries?
Yeah, I think I've heard of those.
Okay. For some reason, that's the image that comes up. I have no clue what it does, I'll be honest. But that's the image that comes up. And the other thing that I get is white and green leaves. So meaning white tea or green tea. Feels that it would be better for you versus, let's say, black tea right now.
Okay.
Okay, but there's these few things that if you can pay attention to them, you can make a massive difference in your world. The idea of safeguarding your energy, though, truly important.
And you said I can call you after the show and ask you how I can specifically
absolutely. If you want me to give you an exercise that you could do, or I'll say a technique, that's easy. So just my number is 561-755-2166. If for any reason you're not able to grab that, I'm on Facebook. You can even go to the website. The phone number's there. But if you give me a holler before, we'll say 8 o'clock, I'll go ahead and I'll give you that information. And worst comes to worse, you can always text me later.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to share something because this came up for this other lady who truly, she's got this great soul. She's full-bodied when it comes to caring for others, loving others. And we all do that in certain circumstances, but some of us do it more so on a consistent basis. For instance, Mother Teresa. Now, I'm not comparing this other gal to Mother Teresa so much as I'm trying to elicit a visual for you, which is some just automatically project that love. What we have to be conscious of is other people don't intentionally all the time try to create harm or try to take. There are those that do, but I'll say that most people really are good. I truly believe that at their core. But there are those that will suck you dry if given the opportunity. You want to make sure to safeguard yourself. And if you're not clear on how to do that, take a look at energy shields or protecting your energy. There is a plethora of information out there. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening, and I'll look forward to connecting with you next week. Have a good night.
Remember to tune in every Tuesday on WNN at 9 p.m. for more peace, inspiration, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise, Top 100 Psychic. The opinions expressed on the preceding spot